Question 1. Legal and regulatory framework in New Hampshire. Under New Hampshire's cybersecurity laws, which of the following best describes an organization's obligation to report a data breach involving personal information? A. Organizations must report the breach to affected individuals within 24 hours, regardless of the scale of the breach. B. Organizations must notify affected individuals and the New Hampshire Attorney General within a reasonable time, not exceeding 30 days after determining a breach occurred. C. Reporting is required only if more than 500 individuals are affected, and the breach must be reported within 60 days. D. There is no mandatory reporting requirement under New Hampshire law, as it is a voluntary standard. Answer. B. Organizations must notify affected individuals and the New Hampshire Attorney General within a reasonable time, not exceeding 30 days after determining a breach occurred. Explanation. Under New Hampshire RSA 359C, 20 organizations are required to notify both affected individuals and the New Hampshire Attorney General within 30 days of determining that a data breach involving personal information has occurred. This ensures timely mitigation and transparency. Option A misstates the timeline and applies unreasonable urgency. Option C inaccurately specifies a threshold and timeline inconsistent with state law. Option D is incorrect as New Hampshire law mandates reporting under specific conditions. Question 2. Cyber risk mitigation strategies. Scenario question. Sarah owns a small business in New Hampshire and recently implemented multi-factor authentication (MFA) to secure her customer database. Despite this, her business experienced a ransomware attack which encrypted sensitive files. Which of the following would be the best immediate action for Sarah to take aligned with best practices? A. Pay the ransom immediately to regain access to the files and avoid operational downtime. B. Disconnect affected systems from the network to prevent the spread of ransomware and contact a cybersecurity professional. C. Restore the affected files from backups without conducting any further investigation. D. Report the attack to the authorities, but take no immediate action to avoid tampering with evidence. Answer. B. Disconnect affected systems from the network to prevent the spread of ransomware and contact a cybersecurity professional. Explanation. Disconnecting systems helps contain the ransomware and prevents further damage. Seeking professional cybersecurity assistance ensures a comprehensive investigation and proper remediation. Paying the ransom, option A, is discouraged as it incentivizes further attacks and does not guarantee file restoration. Restoring files, option C, without an investigation risks reintroducing the ransomware. Reporting to authorities, option D, is necessary but not sufficient as an immediate containment strategy. This aligns with NIST cybersecurity framework recommendations for incident response. Question 3. Policy structures and coverage. Which of the following is the best example of a first-party cyber insurance coverage component? A. Coverage for legal expenses related to a lawsuit filed by customers after a data breach. B. Payment for regulatory fines imposed by the government due to non-compliance. C. Reimbursement for lost income due to a cyber attack that disrupted business operations. D. Liability for damages caused by a breach of a third-party vendor's system. Answer. C. Reimbursement for lost income due to a cyber attack that disrupted business operations. Explanation. First-party coverage addresses the direct losses an insured entity experiences, such as business interruption, lost income, and data restoration costs. Option A represents third-party coverage for legal liabilities. Option B concerns regulatory fines, which may fall under specialized third-party coverage or exclusions depending on the policy. Option D pertains to third-party liability for vendor-related breaches. This distinction aligns with the structure of cyber insurance policies outlined in industry best practices. Question 4. Cybersecurity technologies and practices. Which of the following cybersecurity practices is most effective in mitigating phishing attacks? A. Installing antivirus software on employee devices. B. Implementing email filtering and multi-factor authentication. C. Conducting periodic server backups. D. Encrypting all stored data on company servers. Answer. B. Implementing email filtering and multi-factor authentication. Explanation. Phishing attacks primarily exploit email systems and user credentials. Email filtering blocks malicious messages, while multi-factor authentication adds a second layer of security, preventing unauthorized access even if credentials are compromised. Antivirus software. Option A helps detect malware but is less specific to phishing. Periodic backups. Option C aid recovery but do not prevent phishing. Data encryption. Option D secures information but does not address the initial entry point of phishing emails. This aligns with NIST recommendations for email security and access control. Question 5. Claims and incident response management. Scenario question. Alex, an IT manager at a medium-sized company in New Hampshire, discovers a ransomware attack that has encrypted critical customer data. The company has a cyber insurance policy covering incident response costs. What is the first step Alex should take to ensure proper claims processing? A. Notify the insurance provider immediately and follow their guidance for claims processing. B. Attempt to decrypt the files using available free tools and report to the insurer only if unsuccessful. C. Pay the ransom and then seek reimbursement from the insurer. D. Restore the data from a backup and report the incident once resolved. Answer A. Notify the insurance provider immediately and follow their guidance for claims processing. Explanation. Insurance policies often require immediate notification of incidents to activate coverage and engage pre-approved vendors for incident response. Attempting decryption without consulting the insurer. Option B. May void coverage. Paying a ransom. Option C. Without prior approval is discouraged and may not be reimbursed. Restoring from backup. Option D is helpful but secondary to fulfilling reporting requirements. Compliance with policy terms is critical as outlined in industry standard cyber insurance contracts. Question 6. Cyber risk assessment. When evaluating a company's cyber risk profile, which factor is least likely to directly influence cyber insurance premiums? A. The company's annual revenue and size. B. The presence of outdated software and unpatched vulnerabilities. C. The use of advanced cybersecurity frameworks, such as NIST or ISO standards. D. The company's geographical location within New Hampshire. Answer D. The company's geographical location within New Hampshire. Explanation. While some risks may vary by geography, such as natural disasters, cyber risks are generally independent of location and depend more on technical vulnerabilities and organizational practices. Annual revenue. Option A influences potential financial loss. Outdated software. Option B increases vulnerability and adherence to cybersecurity frameworks. Option C reduces risk and premiums. Geographical location. Option D is less critical for cyber risks. Question 7. Types of cyber threats and risks. Which of the following cyber threats involves prolonged, stealthy attacks aimed at stealing sensitive data over time? A. Ransomware. B. Advanced persistent threats apps. C. Distributed denial of service DDoS attacks. D. Phishing. Answer. B. Advanced persistent threats acts. Explanation. APTS are characterized by extended covert campaigns targeting sensitive information, often leveraging sophisticated tools to evade detection. Ransomware. Option A seeks immediate financial gain through encryption. DDoS attacks. Option C aim to disrupt services. Phishing. Option D typically uses deceptive emails for quick credential theft. APTS demand advanced detection strategies as emphasized in cybersecurity frameworks like ISO 27001 and NIST CSF. Question 8. Underwriting cyber insurance. Scenario question. Maria, a cyber insurance underwriter, is assessing a technology firm's application. The firm has strong endpoint security but lacks regular employee training on phishing awareness. What should Maria consider in evaluating the firm's risk profile? A. Strong endpoint security negates the need for employee training in phishing awareness. B. Lack of phishing awareness training increases the firm's risk of social engineering attacks. C. Employee training is unrelated to cybersecurity risk and does not affect underwriting. D. The firm's existing security measures fully mitigate phishing risks. Answer. B. Lack of phishing awareness training increases the firm's risk of social engineering attacks. Explanation. Employee training is critical for mitigating social engineering risks like phishing. While endpoint security helps protect devices, human error remains a significant vulnerability. Strong security measures options A and D do not eliminate the need for training. Option C ignores the role of human behavior in cybersecurity. Effective underwriting considers both technical defenses and organizational practices. Question 9. Policy structures and coverage. Which of the following is an exclusion commonly found in cyber insurance policies? A. Data breach notification costs. B. Cyber extortion payments. C. Breaches caused by insider negligence. D. Cyber attacks resulting from acts of war or terrorism. Answer. D. Cyber attacks resulting from acts of war or terrorism. Explanation. Many cyber insurance policies include war exclusion clauses excluding coverage for state-sponsored or terrorist-related attacks. Data breach notification costs option A, extortion payments option B, and insider negligence option C are typically covered, provided policy conditions are met. The exclusion aligns with industry practices and standard policy wording. Question 10. Ethical considerations in cyber insurance. What ethical challenge might arise in cyber insurance underwriting? A. Setting premiums based solely on an applicant's technical infrastructure. B. Refusing to cover organizations in high-risk industries like healthcare. C. Balancing profitability with the need to provide comprehensive protection. D. Requiring policyholders to disclose prior cyber incidents during underwriting. Answer. C. Balancing profitability with the need to provide comprehensive protection. Explanation. Cyber insurers face ethical dilemmas in ensuring affordability and comprehensive coverage while maintaining profitability. Setting premiums option A and disclosures option D are standard practices. Refusing coverage option B may raise ethical questions but depends on policy and risk assessment. The challenge lies in striking a balance between the insurer's financial goals and the policyholder's need for adequate protection, reflecting principles of fairness and customer advocacy. Question 11. Cybersecurity standards. Which cybersecurity framework is commonly used to guide organizations in developing and improving their cybersecurity posture? A. General Data Protection Regulation (EDPR). B. National Institute of Standards and Technology Cybersecurity Framework (NIST-CSF). C. Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard (ECESS). D. Sarbanes-Oxley Act (SOX). Answer. B. National Institute of Standards and Technology Cybersecurity Framework (NIST-CSF). Explanation. NIST-CSF provides a structured approach to managing and reducing cybersecurity risk. GDPR option A is a data privacy regulation. PCI DSS option C applies to payment card data security. SOX option D focuses on financial reporting and corporate governance. NIST-CSF is widely used across industries to establish best practices for cybersecurity. Question 12. Incident response planning scenario. Question. A manufacturing company in New Hampshire experiences a breach exposing sensitive client data. What is the first step in their incident response plan? A. Contain the breach to prevent further data loss. B. Notify affected clients and the state attorney general immediately. C. Erase all compromised systems to eliminate the threat. D. Conduct a forensic investigation to determine the breach's scope. Answer. A. Contain the breach to prevent further data loss. Explanation. Containment is the first priority to limit the damage. Notifying clients option B comes later in the process after assessing the situation. Erasing systems option C without investigation may destroy critical evidence. A forensic investigation option D is essential but follows containment. Incident response frameworks like NIST-SP 80061 emphasize containment as the first actionable step. Question 13. Types of cyber coverage. What type of coverage typically reimburses a business for lost revenue due to a cyber attack that disrupts operations? A. Business interruption coverage. B. Data breach coverage. C. Cyber extortion coverage. D. Regulatory fine coverage. Answer. A. Business interruption coverage. Explanation. Business interruption coverage compensates for lost income during downtime caused by cyber attacks. Data breach coverage option B addresses costs related to data exposure. Cyber extortion coverage option C applies to ransomware and similar threats. Regulatory fine coverage option D deals with penalties from legal violations. Question 14. Ransomware response. When responding to a ransomware attack, which action is most aligned with best practices? A. Pay the ransom immediately to minimize downtime. B. Attempt to decrypt the files using external tools. C. Isolate the infected systems from the network. D. Shut down all IT systems across the organization. Answer. C. Isolate the infected systems from the network. Explanation. Isolating infected systems prevents the ransomware from spreading. Paying the ransom option A is not recommended due to uncertain outcomes. Attempting decryption option B is secondary and requires careful consideration. Shutting down all systems option D may cause unnecessary disruptions. Incident response guidelines prioritize containment and isolation. Question 15. Risk transfer. How does cyber insurance help organizations manage cyber risk? A. By eliminating the likelihood of cyber attacks. B. By transferring financial risk associated with cyber incidents. C. By implementing advanced cybersecurity technologies. D. By reducing the need for cybersecurity training. Answer. B. By transferring financial risk associated with cyber incidents. Explanation. Cyber insurance does not prevent attacks but provides financial compensation for covered incidents. It complements but does not replace cybersecurity measures like training, option D, or technology implementation, option C. Question 16. Third-party risk. Which scenario best illustrates third-party cyber risk? A. A vendor's security breach exposes a client company's data. B. An employee's misuse of company resources leads to data loss. C. A phishing attack targets multiple employees in an organization. D. A company's servers are hacked due to weak internal passwords. Answer A. A vendor's security breach exposes a client company's data. Explanation. Third-party cyber risk arises when external partners or vendors with access to systems or data are compromised. This highlights the need for robust vendor risk management programs. Question 17. Regulatory compliance. Under New Hampshire's data breach notification laws, how soon must affected individuals be notified after discovering a data breach? A. Immediately without unreasonable delay. B. Within 7 days. C. Within 30 days. D. Only after confirming the breach's scope. Answer A. Immediately without unreasonable delay. Explanation. New Hampshire law requires notification immediately without unreasonable delay after identifying a breach. This ensures timely protection and mitigation of harm to affected individuals. Question 18. Insider threats. What is the most effective control to mitigate risks from insider threats? A. Multi-factor authentication. B. Continuous employee monitoring and access review. C. Deploying antivirus software. D. Encrypting all stored data. Answer. B. Continuous employee monitoring and access review. Explanation. Monitoring employee actions and regularly reviewing access rights mitigate insider threats. Multi-factor authentication, option A, helps prevent external breaches. Antivirus software, option C, is unrelated to insider risk, and encryption, option D, secures data but does not address insider behavior. Question 19. Cyber liability coverage. Scenario question. A law firm's client files a lawsuit after a data breach exposes sensitive legal documents. Which type of cyber insurance coverage would address this scenario? A. Business interruption coverage. B. Media liability coverage. C. Third-party liability coverage. D. Cyber extortion coverage. Answer. C. Third-party liability coverage. Explanation. Third-party liability coverage addresses claims made by others, such as clients, due to a data breach. Business interruption, option A, applies to revenue loss. Media liability, option B, relates to intellectual property disputes, while cyber extortion, option D, involves ransom demands. Question 20. Cyber insurance trends. Which trend is currently influencing the cyber insurance market? A. Decreasing premiums due to market saturation. B. Increased underwriting scrutiny and risk assessment. C. Universal coverage for all cyber risks. D. Reduced demand for cyber insurance policies. Answer. B. Increased underwriting scrutiny and risk assessment. Explanation. The rise in cyber incidents has led to stricter underwriting and higher premiums as insurers evaluate risks more carefully. Universal coverage, option C, is impractical, and demand for cyber insurance, option D, is growing, not declining. Question 21. Data breach notification. In New Hampshire, which entity must be notified in addition to affected individuals following a data breach? A. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. B. State Attorney General. C. Department of Homeland Security, DHS. D. Local law enforcement. Answer. B. State Attorney General. Explanation. New Hampshire law requires organizations to notify the State Attorney General when a data breach occurs. This ensures regulatory oversight and compliance with state data protection laws. Question 22. Cybersecurity framework components. Which of the following is NOT? One of the 5 core functions of the NIST cybersecurity framework. A. Identify. B. Protect. C. Recover. D. Invest. Answer. D. Invest. Explanation. The NIST cybersecurity framework's 5 core functions are identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. Investors not a part of this framework. Question 23. Phishing awareness. Scenario question. An employee receives an email from an unknown sender requesting sensitive company data. What should they do according to phishing prevention best practices? They open the email and comply with the request. B. Forward the email to their personal account for safekeeping. C. Report the email to the IT security team immediately. D. Delete the email without taking further action. Answer C. Report the email to the IT security team immediately. Explanation. Reporting the suspicious email ensures that the IT team can investigate and take appropriate action. Ignoring or deleting the email, option D, may allow the threat to persist, while forwarding it, option B, increases risk exposure. Question 24. Endpoint security. Which endpoint security measure is most effective at preventing unauthorized access to devices? A. Strong password policies. B. Multi-factor authentication (MFA). C. Regular software updates. D. Antivirus software. Answer B. Multi-factor authentication (MFA). Explanation. MFA adds an extra layer of security, reducing the likelihood of unauthorized access even if passwords are compromised. Strong passwords, option A, are essential but less effective alone. Question 25. Cyber insurance exclusions. Which scenario is least likely to be covered under a standard cyber insurance policy? A. Ransomware payments made under duress. B. Losses due to a state-sponsored cyber attack. C. Regulatory fines from a data breach. D. Legal fees related to third-party claims. Answer B. Losses due to a state-sponsored cyber attack. Explanation. Many cyber insurance policies exclude coverage for state-sponsored attacks, often citing acts of war exclusions. Other scenarios are typically covered depending on the policy terms. Question 26. Access control policies. What principles should guide an organization's access control policy to minimize security risks? A. Role-based access. B. Least privilege. C. Open access. D. Unlimited access for all employees. Answer B. Least privilege. Explanation. The principle of least privilege ensures that employees only have access to the information and systems necessary for their job, reducing the potential for misuse or accidental breaches. Question 27. Data encryption. Scenario question. A healthcare provider stores sensitive patient information in its databases. What is the best way to ensure this data remains secure even if the system is compromised? A. Use firewalls to block external threats. B. Encrypt the data using strong encryption standards. C. Regularly delete outdated patient records. D. Limit database access to top-level management. Answer B. Encrypt the data using strong encryption standards. Explanation. Encryption ensures that even if unauthorized individuals access the data, it remains unreadable without the decryption keys, while other measures, e.g. firewalls, are important. Encryption is the most effective for data security. Question 28. Cyber incident documentation. Why is documenting a cyber incident critical for organizations? A. To share the incident details with competitors. B. To demonstrate compliance with legal and regulatory requirements. C. To avoid notifying stakeholders about the breach. D. To delete evidence of the breach. Answer B. To demonstrate compliance with legal and regulatory requirements. Explanation. Thorough documentation helps organizations comply with laws, assess vulnerabilities, and improve incident response strategies. Sharing details with competitors, option A, or deleting evidence, option D, is not advisable. Question 29. Cyber risk mitigation. Which of the following is a proactive measure for mitigating cyber risks? A. Conducting regular cybersecurity training for employees. B. Waiting until a cyber attack occurs to take action. C. Relying solely on insurance to cover losses. D. Ignoring cybersecurity risks in favor of productivity. Answer A. Conducting regular cybersecurity training for employees. Explanation. Training ensures employees are aware of potential threats and know how to respond. Waiting to act, option B, or ignoring risks, option D, increases vulnerabilities, while insurance, option C, is a reactive measure. Question 30. Social engineering attacks. Scenario question. An attacker impersonates a company executive and requests sensitive financial information from an employee. What type of cyber attack is this? A. Phishing. B. Spear phishing. C. Whaling. D. Smishing. Answer: C. Whaling. Explanation: whaling targets high-profile individuals or employees with access to sensitive information by impersonating executives. Spearphishing, option B, is more targeted than phishing, option A, while smishing, option D, involves SMS messages.